Welcome back here on FortHSFootball.com as we look at the state championship games coming up this week here coming up in Fort Lauderdale at DRV PNK Stadium. 5 state championship games in 2M, 3M, 4M, 3S, and 4S this weekend. And joining me is the head coach who is actually going to be coaching in his final game as the Homestead Broncos head coach, Philip Simpson, joining me here. And Coach, I definitely appreciate you being able to stop by. I know this is a historic moment for Homestead. The school's been, over 40 years old, and first time playing for an FHA state championship in football. And Coach, what is the excitement right now like in Homestead for the Broncos and for the Homestead community? Because I know that it's been a long time coming for this program to get to this far, and of course y'all get a rematch from the team that you lost to in the regional final last year, and St. Thomas Aquinas in this game. But what's the atmosphere like right now in Homestead?
I mean, it's exciting times. It's exciting times. Everyone's happy. They're enthusiastic. They're loving what we got going on. A lot of family, a lot of friends, and a lot of supporters involved. A lot of alumni coming out and showing support. You see people coming out to practice and watching, coming to the building, wanting to help out with pregame meal and postgame meal and snacks, things of that nature. So it's exciting times. It's good to get people, excited about something down here in Homestead. It can easily be a forgotten area. It's way at the bottom. They haven't had much success over the previous years. So to get us on the map and get us some notoriety, it's pretty good for the program. It's good, and it's even better for the community.
No, absolutely. And Coach, let's talk about this team, because you took over 4 years ago. You took over a program that has been had struggles and stuff, and when now you're here at this ultimate point. What was your first thing when you came in? Because you've been assistant coach at other schools around Miami-Dade County. You've been in the college ranks. So what was your goals when you first started? Trying to get Homestead back on the map here. And now, I mean, you made waves last year, but now this year this is for all the marbles here now in this one.
Well, yeah, when we came in, you talk about a 4-year plan. We got here year one, we went 2-8. You talk about your biggest victories was off the field. Talking about dissecting the building, dissecting the team, and just kind of like just trying to implant the cure. And so now we come in, and then you had the COVID year, you go 3-3, and then last year we come in and make a little noise, but at the end of the day, we ran into a wall against St. Thomas last year. Very good team, very good program. So to come in this year, at the end of the day, you see the ladder. You see the progression. You see the growth. As best way I describe it, has a strong pulse and is very healthy. So it says a lot about the culture around here. It says a lot about the coaching staff and the support system we get from everyone. So you definitely progress on the program, and we only have 12 seniors and only half of those guys starters. So, not only they're good last year, they're good this year, but they're good for a few years to come.
No, absolutely, Coach. And let's talk about some of these with your guys. I mean, one of your guys right now that I'm looking at right here on what the key players to watch, Isaiah Brown. He's a Louisville commit. You got another one, Richard Dandridge. He's committed to Temple. So these guys that have been between your seniors and your juniors, there's talent that is coming up and along the way here. And even when once you coach your final game here, everything's gonna, the remaining staff's gonna stay in place, and they're gonna keep going what you started and laid that foundation. So I mean, these kids, these guys, they're not driving north into Miami, into the Miami city limits. They're staying there at Homestead. They're staying there playing, because they believe in what y'all have been able to do.
100%. I mean, you come here. I got to Homestead. One of the first things we talked about was how this program has so much tradition, so much pride, that could be restored. Um, uh, you got teams in the past, like Booker T won a couple state championships and a few other program state championships. And you look at the roster, a lot of those kids are right down here from this Homestead area. So it was important for me to come in here and get these kids to come back home and getting to play back into their community. And then, you keep the staff intact. You got a blueprint in place. You got familiar faces in the building. You got some of the more vocal coaches stepping up, and so as one the program will kind of like deploy or fall apart. And in fact, it stayed strong. It stayed nice and concrete. I talked about my departure with the team last week. They was very excited for me. They was very excited for the changes on staff, in terms of everybody just pretty much being promoted. And so it's good times right now.
No, absolutely. And let's talk further about your guys here, Coach, and all of this. I mean, let's talk about especially your quarterback, Joshua Townsend, who has made a name for himself here this season. He's been the orchestrator here of the offense. Leading the offense through these games. So, what is it about that makes Joshua so special for what y'all have been able to do this year?
Poise, poise, very mature quarterback, very well put together kid. And the thing that's exciting about him is when you watch him in the game, he gets into the game and midway through the first quarter or going into the second quarter, at that point he started telling the coaches what to do. He started telling us what he sees. And
Wow.
listen, hey, and I tell you what, single time I tell my guys to get out of his way. When he gets like that and he starts saying we need to run this, we need to run that, coach, get out of his way. This kid's been playing here since a freshman. He's a junior now. He earned his strike team last year. Get out that kid way. He's a franchise quarterback. Give him the keys. And he hasn't been wrong. So and the thing I like about him when he do call plays, he call them passing plays. He love getting the ball in the air. So he's been amazing for the program. And Homestead Broncos is Joshua Townsend.
Wow, that's impressive, Coach. And let's talk the other side of the ball, the defense, because they say defense does win championships too. And y'all have gone through this. Uh, you know, you got several guys. I mean, Tremaine Brown here. You got Marquand Strong. You got Juan Ramirez. Of course, we talked about Richard Dandridge already. He plays both sides of the ball. Of course, as well. So, what is it about your defense that has made it so well here for y'all as well?
Well, defense, I mean, they with Coach Thornton, who will be taking over the program, they picked up his identity. I mean, just tough, physical, disciplinary guys. That's pretty much Coach Thornton's mindset as a person. He's adopted his way. And so it's been really exciting to watch that. And one of the main kids who, to me, is my defensive MVP is David Jester, our safety. He played receiver for us last year. A full-time safety. He's like 6'3", 200 pounds, big, long kid. I mean, he's been rangy. He's caught interceptions. He scored touchdowns. He forced fumbles, scored on special teams. He's ran back kickoff returns to the house, made big hits. He's our kicker on kickoff. I mean, that kid is also a hero that's not getting enough attention right now, which is interesting because he's the biggest thing on defense.
David Jester. Hey, we'll be seeing a lot of him. Of course, that Class 3M state championship game is Thursday night, 7 p.m. kickoff at DRV PNK Stadium. So, Coach, here it is. It's the biggest game of the year. It's against St. Thomas Aquinas. How do you all in this thing? How do you prepare for a team like St. Thomas Aquinas who owns the state record of 13 state championships over the most of by any school? How do you prepare for a program like that? A team, y'all faced them last year, but I know that this is different. This is for all the marbles. So how do you prepare for a team like St. Thomas Aquinas who is just so athletically strong and has been year in and year out, across South Florida for the last 3 decades, the way they have played?
Well, at the end of the day, it's football, and the game has to be played. When you go into these seasons, when you play football, if the team that's projected to win always wins, they need to watch it on television. So you go into these games, you prepare, you plan. Yes, they're a good program. Yes, they're a dominant program, and for certain one of the best teams in the country. But uh, as our theme for this week is one night only. We only need one night to play great football. We don't need Friday. We don't need Wednesday. We need Thursday night to play one night of great football. And we have our game plan. We got things in place that we feel to give us a chance to put us in position to win the ball game, and we attack it that way. It turns into a backyard brawl. It's nothing less than that. You playing against some stout kids. You're playing against a great program, great staff, and we just got to be great for one night.
And do you think, in that side, when you're not with it being, for great for one night, do you think games like the loss to Columbus and the win over Miami Northwestern, and of course Miami Palmetto earlier in the season. Do you think those help build to that moment to where, okay, what we know, we've been in these kind of situations before with other teams. We know how to, this is okay. These games have helped prepared us to be, hey, we that for that one great night that you need Thursday night.
100%. Then the one game that's kind of been overshadowed that actually I think without that game, who knows what the outcome is when we go up against Jones last week is early in the season we go up to Lakewood. We go out to Lakewood in St. Petersburg and played a good team, traditionally a good program, had a strong fan base, and we faced the adversity midway through that game. Obviously, the Palmetto game, the Northwestern game, yes, Columbus game. Those are big games that play for these moments. When I got here, when I saw some of the teams on our football schedule, I remember telling my principal, my athletic director, if we ever going to play a state championship game, we got to change our home. We got to change season schedule. You got to start getting some competitive games here. And so, where we at now is a strong reflection of our schedule, and not only the schedule we played, but how we embraced it and how we competed against it.
Absolutely, coach. And sounds like y'all are prepared. Sounds like the excitement is around there in the community. I mean, it's exciting times there at Homestead, the southern part of Dade County. And Thursday night will be the spotlight in the Class 3 in the state championship game against St. Thomas Aquinas, Dade versus Broward. 7 p.m. kickoff at DRV PNK Stadium. Coach, appreciate it, and congratulations on getting this far here to the state title game. And we'll see you Thursday night at DRV PNK Stadium in Fort Lauderdale.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, you're very welcome, and we'll see you Thursday night. That was head coach Philip Simpson of the Homestead Broncos joining us here, and we appreciate him taking some time. And keep an eye on FortHSFootball.com for more videos and preview content here coming up here with the Fort Lauderdale State Championships this weekend. We appreciate it. So long.